Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. This is 9th of October 2021 and we are back with your next daily quiz. Question number 1 on your screen is this. With reference to the Tata Sons winning the bid to acquire Air India, consider the following statements and choose the correct ones. Number 1. Thales Private Limited has been officially declared as a winning bidder in the process. Number 2. As per the agreement, the Tatas will now own 100% stake in Air India and 76% stake in its international low-cost arm, Air India Express. Third, with this acquisition, the Tatas will now own the pending debt of Air India as well. You have to choose the correct ones. If you look at these statements one by one, the first statement is absolutely correct. Thales Private Limited, which is a subsidiary of Tata Sons, is the official winner of this bid. The second statement actually is wrong. As per the agreement, the Tatas will now own 100% stake in Air India and 100% stake in the international low cost arm, that is the Air India Express, as well. The third statement again is incorrect. One of the reasons why Tatas or other parties were interested in buying Air India was that the pending debt will be taken over by the government of India, which will handle it. It will not be passed on to the Tatas. So the correct answer to this question is A, one only is correct. As you know, this is one of the biggest stories to hit the newspaper today. The Hindu covered it with this headline: after 68 years, Tatas win back Air India. If you read this article, you will get a lot of very important information. Just look at this last paragraph. The government will absorb the balance debt of 46,262 crore rupees, which will be transferred to a special purpose vehicle called Air India Assets Holding Limited. Debt of the company is almost 2.5 times the value of the entire company. Moving on to question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to the lateral entry program run by the Government of India. Number 1. Reservations or caste-based quotas do not apply to these recruitments. Second, the recruitment under this program does not involve any written test. Number 3, the basic qualification for a joint secretary lateral entrant is 15 years of work experience. Which of these given statements is or are correct? As a civil services aspirant, I am sure many of you would know about the lateral entry program, under which the government invites applications from people working in the private sector or in the PSUs to join the civil services. All these three given statements are absolutely correct. The correct answer here is D. Such recruitment does not involve any reservation or caste-based quota. It does not have any written test, so you have to apply online. Based on your application, you would be called for an interview by the UPSC. Based on that interview, you would be selected. The third is also absolutely correct. Now, in the last quiz, I asked you some questions and I asked you to answer them in the comment section, which many of you did. So I will keep asking a few more questions similarly. I want you to answer in the comment section, what is the minimum age required for a lateral entrant at the joint secretary level position? What is the minimum age as per the UPSC notification for this lateral entrant at the joint secretary position? The reason why we are discussing this is because the Hindu carried an article today which talked about 31 people being selected for the lateral entry posts. Also, if you can, tell me in the comment section which state was the first one in India to contemplate and launch the lateral entry program. Which specific state? Moving on. The third question. Nations across the world have been contemplating imposing a minimum permissible level of corporate tax in order to counter tax havens. Which of the following rates of minimum corporate tax has been decided by these nations? 23%, 15%, 20%, or 18%? The correct answer to this question is B, 15%. Tax havens, as you know, are nations which have negligible rate of corporate taxation. That is why many companies set up their offices in these nations so that they can avoid paying taxes. To ensure that the corporates around the world don't get away with evading taxes, countries across the world have decided to impose a minimum level of corporate tax that should be followed throughout the world. and they have zeroed it on 15% rate. Do read this article from the Indian Express, which talks about how the developed nations in the world are now coming together to ensure that the corporates that avoid paying taxes by bending of rules don't get away with it anymore. Moving on, question 4. Which of the following statements regarding RBI's GSAP operations is not correct? Number 1. It involved the RBI buying government securities from the market. Second, it was launched to restrict the availability of liquidity in the market and thus control inflation. Third, this was launched during the COVID-19 outbreak. And fourth, none of the above. If you look at the statements carefully, you would understand that the first and second statements are opposite to each other. If RBI is buying government securities, obviously it will lead to increase of liquidity in the market and not decrease. So either one or two has to be wrong. The correct answer is B. Under this program, the RBI started buying government securities from the market when the COVID-19 outbreak started, in order to ensure that there is enough liquidity in the market. We are covering this news because recently the RBI decided to stop its GSAP operations. This was covered in the Indian Express today. The heading says the RBI is set to stop GSAP operations. GSAP here stands for Government Securities Acquisition Program. Time now to discuss a previous year question from 2019. With reference to Mia Tansen, which of the following statements is not correct? Number 1. Tansen was a title given to him by Emperor Akbar. Second, Tansen composed Dhrupads on Hindu gods and goddesses. Third, Tansen composed songs on his patrons. Fourth, Tansen invented many ragas. Which of these is not correct? And the answer here is A. The name Tansen was not given by Emperor Akbar. Rather, it was given to him by Raja Vikramjit of Gwalior. He was a court musician in the darbar of Raja Ramchandra of Bandhavgarh in Rewa. I also want you to tell me what was the real name of Tansen then. If this was a title given to him, what was his real name? Time now for the fact of the day. Today we will be discussing a few pointers about the Park Bay scheme launched by the Government of India in 2017. Under this scheme, the Government of India aims to finance about 2,000 vessels in 3 years, specifically for the fishermen in the state of Tamil Nadu. The objective was to shift fishermen from using trawlers and instead advise them and encourage them to use vessels. The reason is the use of trawlers greatly damages the marine ecosystem since it goes deep into the sea, reaches the seabed, and it hurts the marine ecosystem in that particular area. So much so that the Sri Lankan government has already banned the use of trawlers in their waters. The Government of India is also planning to establish a deep sea fishing harbour at Mukayur, which is in the south of the Park Bay region, where many of these vessels could be parked. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video.